Hi everyone, and welcome back to Arguably Speaking. And that intro took us longer than you think to record.
But we're doing well now that it's running. Anyways, my name is Sarah. I feel like we never say our names, and I'm just like, what if they can't tell our voices apart?
Yeah. My name is Kiera.
Great.
It's fair.
We're your hosts. Welcome to episode 6.
Episode 6 of the pod.
Wow. Rounded up, that's 10.
Yep.
Nice.
That's how rounding works.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry
exciting.
we have no video format again, but you know what? The library is still waiting on the next person ahead of me to return the camera. And so here we are. But that's okay. We're still just as fun and exciting. You just might not be able to tell our voices apart.
And, it's just like a little game. It'll keep you entertained.
When I was editing when I was listening to the last podcast that you had edited,
I was like, wait a second.
I could tell our voices apart.
Perfect. I'm glad that you can tell your own voice apart from the person that you've known for 6 years, 6.
A lot of years.
A lot of years. More than, yeah.
Again, how long we've known each other versus how long we have been friends is different.
It's confusing.
Vastly different.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of friends that we've known for a while.
Yeah, good segue.
Yeah, friends that we've known for a while but maybe haven't been as close with for some of that while. We had a friend from high school that we were both pretty good pals with in high school and then haven't really talked to.
Shout out Stuart.
Yeah. Shout out Stu Nation, Station.
You better be listening to this now that you know it's a thing.
Yeah, we told you it happened, and if you didn't, all of our fans are going to come after you, so you
All
better
of our
be really afraid of the Midwest. Anyways.
Just the Midwest in general.
Just in general. Don't be planning a trip to Illinois anytime soon, because I have people.
That was so silly.
Anyways, it was super silly. No, but yeah, we that's what we did this weekend, our wonderful 3-day weekend that we got with the holiday.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans. We support you, and we support getting time off because of you.
It was really thank you.
Yep.
It was really cool though, because this is one of the first times that someone who was not Sarah or Cade has like visited, and it been like a very chill time, but very fun still.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of times when people visit you, you always feel the need to entertain like 24/7, be like, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? But this was very fun. We just watched High School Musical, the series.
Season 1.
Which, wow, blast from the past.
Oh my
Still
gosh.
very fun.
Yeah.
I keep saying
it was
very
really fun to see. It was very fun.
Very fun.
It was very fun to see Olivia Rodrigo have a very fun time on the very fun show with her very fun
co-star.
I was like, I can't remember the word. Co-actor people.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
They're
it
so
was good.
little.
Yeah, I know. They were really cute. And like, it reminds me of how slight some people can be. I don't know. Like, what's his name? Joshua Bassett in that show is just, he's not much of anything. Like, it just has tiny bones. You know how some people are big boned? Some people are tiny boned, and I forget that because I fall into the big boned majority. I don't know, actually. Would you think they were a majority or a minority?
I don't think I thought you were an average bone person, so I
Nice.
hadn't thought of that much.
That's fair.
I don't know. I think it's an even distribution.
Okay.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the I don't know enough about statistics to make that joke.
Yeah, math wasn't there for you that time.
I'm sorry. I just took stats, but I took stats from a graduate student. Okay. So my stats class was fine. I got a really good grade. I learned what I had to learn, but also, like, 11 of my classes were canceled throughout the semester. Yeah. Which, like, I wasn't paying for
How many days a
it
week?
because, 2? I think it was 2.
Yeah, that's worse.
Right?
If it was 3, then you'd be like, oh, well,
Yeah,
okay.
right? No, it
Still
was
a lot.
so bad. It was so bad, and I was really bad at checking my email in the morning because it was like a 9:30 class or
so
something.
you just show up.
Yeah, and that happened like 4 times, and then finally I started being like better at looking at my stuff. But no, it was so funny because I worked with him in the Math Resource Center the summer before, and then he was my teacher.
Oh.
Which was so weird.
And it's like, you are not qualified to teach me anything right now.
Literally. And I was like, granted, like, my math, you know, the reason I was able to work in the Math Resource Center was because I'm good at pure math or whatever. And his was like statistics, but still. I was like, this is
we're
so
equals.
Weird. And also, like, just, he wasn't the best teacher because we didn't, like, do a lot because we didn't have class. I don't know. It was just wild. He also he canceled the third exam. We had a first exam, a second exam, and the final exam instead of first, second, third. And then for the second exam, he made it a group exam.
You know, arguably speaking, most students would be happy with that.
I just
want to learn because you're paying for it.
Yeah, no, literally. I was like, if I had been paying tuition out of my own pocket, I wasn't because of scholarships. But if I had been, like, I would be pissed. And I was still kind of pissed. Yeah. Because, like, it's a waste of my time. Yeah. It's a waste of my time. And, like, I don't know. I recently had a really long conversation with one of our other roommates about, like, my vendetta against people who just do okay and that's good enough for them, especially in math courses. Like, it's, I don't know. And then I'm like, in the perfect world, everything would be mastery based, you know? But, like, that's just not realistic. Anyways, it's a whole rant, and we don't have to have the rant on the pod because it makes me a little angry, and I don't really want to be in that space right now. But just know that if you're like, hey, I got a 50%, and that means that I know calculus, I don't like you very much. Now, if you said, that's a 50% and that's all I need, and I'm not going to go around and tell people that I know calculus, but I'm going to let people know that I am familiar with some of the topics, that's fine. But if you claim mastery and you don't have the abilities to back it up.
Yeah, I was about to come at you a little bit because I was like, Sarah, some people, like, just want to be okay at things, and that's totally fine.
And that's okay.
But your real problem just lies in, like, pretending you're good at something that you're not good at.
Right. Or, like, you know, being satisfied with not being good at something and, like, allowing others to believe you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. It's just
I get it.
I understand the math isn't for everybody. That's so fine. But just go around saying that you're, like, stellar you know?
Why'd you do that? You could say student.
I don't know. It just felt worse.
Anyways, we're moving on from the math topic.
You can be a really good student without being good at math.
Fair.
Just don't claim to be a really good math student. That's it. Anyways, we're moving away from that.
Yeah, this is not...
It's just a circle.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, I have an update before we're done.
An update?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys listened to last week's episode, but I went on a tour with a person, and I'm pretty sure it was a date. We have now secured a second contact.
Second outing. At minimum.
Yes. Update on that will come. But yeah, we're gonna go throw some axes, which feels very much like date material. So I'm feeling rather secure in my judgment call on saying that it was in fact a date.
Oh yeah. And throwing axes is that's a fairly unique
fun date. Yeah.
No,
fun date.
Yeah,
I know some people who have done it just because there was like a new place that had opened up while I was in college in the place that I went to school. And so it was like a novel, like, oh my gosh, we should go to that place because it just opened up. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you know, I've never done it. I've also never done a rage room because they kind of scare me. I just didn't I slip and kind of do. I'm not clumsy per se. I'm just not the most coordinated.
No, that's fair.
And it kind of worries me that I could injure myself significantly.
Seriously hurt. That's so funny.
Yeah.
They opened one near the pinball place, which I consider the pinball place to be one of Kiera and I's first real friend dates.
It was.
Yeah.
That was cute.
Because that was the first one that I had planned in advance.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, we should hang out. I have an idea of what we're going to do.
I have a picture
but you
from
don't get
then.
to know. I also have a picture from
Oh
that.
my
Should we
gosh.
post it? We could post it on the Instagram.
We should.
We should. That'd be really
oh
cute.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
That's
yay.
adorable. That's
Nice.
adorable.
Nice. Great. Cute.
Little blast from the past. Little
Aw.
insider knowledge.
Aw.
Oh,
Yeah.
We were just little babies.
We were little babies. It's crazy because, so like we said, Stuart came to visit us. And when he got here, we were all like, wow, you look so much more like the Stuart that we knew than we were anticipating.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I don't know, we were just expecting a big change.
Well, and it has been a long time. It's been like 5 years since we were all close, you know, and seeing each other daily. And even though Sarah and I haven't physically changed that much, we just had expected that others had, I guess.
Right. We've just matured so much emotionally that we assumed that physical changes in others would have been greater? ? I don't know. It's just interesting. Yeah. So you can see an old picture of me and Kiera when we were babies, even though we look pretty much the same.
Well, I think the thing is, day to day, we like see each other, quote, you know, we see our own personal change day to day so much that it feels very subtle.
Right.
But when you don't see someone for a long time, you expect there to be a bigger change because you haven't watched that growth.
Haven't seen the day to day.
Yeah.
It's fair. That's why I'm like, my parents don't say that my arms look really muscular when I go home for Thanksgiving. I might cry, you know? Because like...
Yeah, because it's been a while.
Maybe they don't look that different to me, but I've been seeing my arms day to day.
Yeah, and if my grandma doesn't say, oh my God, you are so tall, have you grown? Even though I haven't grown in years, I will feel sad.
Maybe I'm shrinking.
Am I smaller?
Did I get shorter? Has the weight of living with Sarah, I just put our names together. The weight of living with Sarah, honestly, the weight of living with Sarah, our ship name, just
it's not
pushed
a bad
you down.
name.
It's not bad. It's better than Kara.
Yeah, I was like, Kiera or Sarah?
They're both bad.
They're, They're not great.
That's okay. Arguably speaking, that's why we didn't make a ship name our podcast title.
No, that would have been horrible.
Didn't even make it to the cutting floor.
Not even close.
So
Not even close.
Also, I'm sorry, I keep on turning away from the mic. I'm making a bunch of really tiny little braids over my head right now.
Again, we're totally
It's
taking
freaking-
advantage of not having this video format by doing like all of the other random stuff.
I was balancing a head on my wait.
A pillow on her forehead.
A head on my pillow.
Not close. Not close at all.
I'm so bad at words. That's why I'm a communication major. But anyways, do you have any updates? I shared my one update from like things we talked about last week.
My one update is that life is so much better that I'm not on deadline right now.
Amazing.
Like, I still have stuff that are due tomorrow.
Well,
but the worst of it is over. Last week was bad. I had some late nights last week. And this week, it's so chill.
amazing.
It's so
I
chill.
love chillness.
But we had a great weekend with Stuart.
Yes.
It was super fun. We did crossword puzzles. We did real puzzles. I'm trying to become a puzzling household.
I like
I
it.
realized how much joy it brings me and how little joy it brings Sarah.
No, okay. So here's the deal. I brought this puzzle back from my office for us to do. I helped do one of the borders. This puzzle was particularly difficult because it had wonky pieces, and I was just not really up for the challenge at that point. I still wanted to be with the group, so I just brought my sewing out. And to be fair, the sewing for me was a lot more fun than doing the puzzle. And maybe I didn't contribute.
Maybe. She did not contribute.
Maybe Kiera and Stuart and a little bit Bella and a little bit Matthew did the entire puzzle on their own without my help. But, you know, we were all still there together.
That's okay. Yeah.
Parallel play.
But then we ate a lot of good or decent food.
Yeah.
We had a lot of morning events, as in coffee shops and breakfasts out.
Wow, that breakfast place that we went to was really good.
So good. Shout out North Star?
North Star Diner?
Diner.
Yeah.
Cute diner.
Good diner. Great staff. So chipper.
Mm-hmm.
We love food service staff that have a smile on their face. Because it's hard. You know?
It's hard to keep a smile on your face when you're
so
serving.
surprising.
Believe me, I've been there.
I have not been there, but I understand that it can be
It's rough.
difficult.
And we were at the loudest table. It was a really funny sign. It was like, warning, or something like this. You are at the loudest table in this restaurant. And I was like, what?
I was like, I love this. I don't know if it had to do with like the acoustics or just like they were like, you look noisy.
Yeah. I'm like, is this a funny like little dig? Like, oh my gosh, you look fun and loud and get in the corner? Or is this like, wow, the speakers are right here. Sorry about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
It was fun though.
so yeah.
And really good food. There was like a breakfast chimichanga that our friend Stuart got, which was num num delicious. He shared some with us.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
I got a burrito. Sarah got nachos.
Chiquiles?
Oh,
I think was what they were called. Yeah, it was like nachos, but the chips were like drenched in sauce and like baked that way. So the chip wasn't crunchy. It was just like saucy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
That's
was
why
good.
we say bring 2 forks.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So I'm bringing those old names right back around here.
I love it. If you didn't listen to our first episode, you should go back and listen to it now.
Yeah. But on the topic of food, that's
Yes.
a great segue.
Great segue.
Into our topic of the pod for
Woot.
tonight, which is jobs, specifically first jobs.
Yeah.
Or like the first time you've ever done a certain type of job.
I like it. I like it.
Or just jobs in general, because we're working. We're
Yeah.
working girls.
We're
working women.
Work it out. Work it out. Anyways. Singing podcast.
I don't know
was a
why
little
it just like didn't go with the flow of anything. Sometimes the singing works and sometimes it doesn't.
I think it's because I just didn't really know what song I was trying to sing, but I knew that there was something to sing. You know, what would have fit better would be the like work,
yeah,
work.
yeah.
But I couldn't think of it, and so I was like, "There's a song, work it out."
Or we can work from home. Yeah, there's a lot of songs that have the word work in them, but that wasn't one of them.
It's okay. Anyways,
I can start for
That sounds
my
like a good
first
idea.
job, because I think I had my first job a bit before Sarah did.
Way
I got working real young because I was very money motivated. I'm still very money motivated, but less so. Very much less so. And we lived in a very small town, and the first place that I had my job at was a little ice cream shop, which sounds just delightful. And it was cute because my mom also it wasn't my mom. It was another girl's. Never mind.
another girl's mom.
Another girl's mom had her first job there, not at that ice cream shop, but at an ice cream shop, and it was also her first job, and I just equated her experience to mine, but it wasn't.
Wow. So someone that you knew tangentially also had an ice cream shop job.
She worked with me.
Oh, that's better.
It was both of our first jobs at this ice cream shop.
So it was you and your friend's mom. Okay.
Cute.
That's super cute.
Okay, I don't know. Sometimes you just think an experience is yours, but it's not.
So did you think in your head that you were working with your mom?
No. That was not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is it would have been cute if my mom and I had the same type of job.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
But that's not
keep
true.
Going. Let's keep going.
Anyways, so I get really excited. I should have known this was going to be weird from the start, because one of the first things that they had me do for the interview was take a personality test, which I'm pretty sure is illegal on some level. That feels so... It wasn't like the Myers-Briggs or anything like that, or any official test. It equated your personality to a color, and I don't remember exactly what it was. but I did it happily because I was an eager beaver, and I was like, I'm gonna get paid. I was like 16, you know, I was little.
Yeah.
And I got the job, and it was great. But the outfits were like a neon t-shirt and a baseball cap.
Okay.
Which was so unfortunate because I am not a hat girly at all. And I was like, this sucks.
Did you have to wear your hair up with the baseball cap too?
Yeah.
You're just not really a hair up girly.
I know I'm not. But I would have done the hair up on its own. That would have been better. But with the baseball cap, I was like, this is awful. But I do vividly remember getting my first tip, and we didn't even have a tip jar yet, and someone just handed me $1, and I was like, yay, all I did was scoop your ice cream.
Nice.
It sounds all great and wonderful. And for a while it was interesting. I was like surrounded by ice cream. We also served grilled cheese, like very fancy grilled cheese, and popcorn. Those were our 3 big menu items.
Feels like a Charlie Brown Christmas.
It's so
or
weird.
not Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That's
with
so
the jelly
funny.
beans and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was very strange. But these were just 2 older people who had decided that they really wanted to open an ice cream shop. They had a lot of money. They like owned a golf course, and this was just like their little passion project. But it very quickly started to go downhill. Aside from our free like shift meal, which could be any ice cream thing or any sandwich off the menu, which were just different grilled cheeses.
Nice. I
Like,
love it.
aside from that perk, it was really bad. They would have us stay so late at night. We would get home at like midnight or 1 a.m., which is really late for a 16-year-old
Yeah.
to work. I mean, I know people do it all the time, but when you're not expecting to, it's weird.
Yeah.
And they would sit at the ice cream shop like for a good chunk of our shifts and kind of micromanage. But then when they installed a camera and had our phone system up, they stopped sitting at the ice cream shop, and they would sit at home, I guess. And they would call us. They would watch us, and they would call us on the phone if we did something incorrectly.
Oh my god.
They'd be like, we just saw you do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, go back and fix it. And we'd be like, okay.
Wow.
Because what else are you supposed to do?
That's terrifying.
That should have been red flag number 2.
Jesus.
Obviously. Personality tests, calling over the phone. It was just so strange. And again, it was most of our first jobs. Like, they hired all very young 16-year-old people who didn't know what to do. And it just got worse and worse. Like, we would get yelled at for leaving like a kernel in the popcorn machine, and it'd be like the end of the world. Or like if somebody left any sticky thing anywhere, like, let's be fair, when you close, it's never really a perfect close. You can get close, but there's usually always like one thing. But we would get yelled at, like reprimanded. And they had this very big deal with the amount of ice cream we had in each scoop.
Okay.
So we had to get exactly 4 ounces. And we had training on this. Like, we had to like scoop and then weigh it.
Jeez.
And you think that's intense, and it's because it is.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know, you'd think you would just kind of get used to it. They'd just have you scoop and weigh it for the training.
Yeah.
No. The weigher was out there for every single scoop.
Wow.
And if it was over by more than like 0.1 ounce, we would have to take off ice cream.
That's
which is
so stingy
horrible.
for the
It's
customer.
so stingy, and it looks really bad. Like, if they're watching you scoop their ice cream and you're taking ice cream out.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Ew.
I mean, if it was too little, we would add more.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But gosh, that was embarrassing.
That's super
But
embarrassing.
it doesn't end there. People were like, you know, just like pretending to scoop, or they were scooping it and weighing it, but they weren't like actually taking stuff off because it was embarrassing, right? So they just serve it to the customer no matter, like if it was 4.3, they wouldn't take off 0.3 ounces. They would just give it to them and ignore the weigh thing. So they installed a camera that looked at the ice cream weigher.
Jeez.
So they could call us on the phone if it was overweight.
Oh my god.
Which is insane.
That is insane.
And on top of that, then the workaround we found was like, oh, we'll just stand right in front of the camera when we're scooping so they won't be able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But they realized that we were doing that, of course. And so they put a square of tape on the ground, like a perimeter around the camera that we could not step in so that they would be able to see the scale and still call us on the phone.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And we were all just like, what the hell is happening right now?
Wow.
We're just scooping ice cream.
So were they not able to afford the 0.2 ounces, or was it about making just that much more money?
I have no idea. And they definitely had money. Like, they just, like, casually opened up an ice cream shop and, like, hired all these people, which is, I don't know. It feels like something that you wouldn't do if you weren't at least somewhat financially stable. Plus, they owned a golf course, so I feel like they had money.
Well, and it's not like they were working in there with you.
Yeah.
I feel like if you need something to succeed to the point where, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're taking on the hours instead of paying someone to do those hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing that.
So it was crazy. They wouldn't let us have any time off either. I remember I asked for like 1 weekend off. Yeah. And they were like, this is so irresponsible. Like, this will not stand in the real world. And I was just like, oh my God.
You can take time off.
I just need 1 day off so I can go to like a volleyball tournament or something. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't work that evening. But yeah, and it just got worse and worse. And everyone just started quitting. You know?
I remember that. There was like a mass exodus.
And I was one of the last people to quit because I was so stressed. I don't like quitting things, and it feels very, very stressful to quit your first job.
If it's your first job, because then you go to your next job and they're like, have you had any job experience? And you're like, but it was terrible and I quit.
And I think I only worked there. I want to say I only worked there for like 3 months or something.
Wow.
It was between 3 and 6 months. It wasn't that long. And I did have another job like pretty much lined up afterwards, which was a much better experience. But
is that the one you had for most of high school?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll talk about that in a minute.
Good job.
But that was my first job, which I feel like is kind of a wild story.
Yeah, no.
It's just like blasphemous.
It's ridiculous. My first job, actually, my aunt's dog's niece had the same first job as me. No, it's
my
super
aunt's
funny.
Dog's niece?
Because my first job, I'm pretty sure, I think it was working at the summer camp as a dishwasher. But my second job, I scooped ice cream in the dining hall.
Yeah.
So, really, Kiera and I are the same.
Yeah. We both scooped an ice cream. Yeah. An ice cream scoop or two in our lives.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no, my first job, I had been trying to just get something for after high school that summer, after high school and before going to college.
Save some money.
Yeah, I didn't work in high school. My parents were like, if you want to get a job, you have to quit all but one extracurricular, because they didn't want me to, like, I don't know, be too busy.
Oh. In high school, I worked like 2 jobs for the majority of it.
Yeah, I know. It's just wild. But that's just like kind of where they were on that. And I was like, well, I couldn't choose between band, show choir, student council, and the musical/play. Like, I couldn't do that, you know? And so I just didn't have a job. But yeah, no, I was like looking and applying for things, and people were like, no, you don't have any experience and you have to leave at the end of the summer. Like, I'm not going to hire you. And I went to a summer camp my entire childhood from the age of 8 until when I graduated high school, which I guess was 17.
Yeah.
And then, so the summer immediately following my last summer as a camper, I came back as a dishwasher, and it was terrible. Because you're cooking. I wasn't cooking, obviously, but like the chefs were cooking for like 500 to 600 campers, and I was in the boys' kitchen, which being in the boys' kitchen was better.
Really?
Yes. Because boys actually eat.
Oh.
Little girls don't eat anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or it's like, they either eat so much or not enough, and it all depends on the kind of food. Yeah. Boys are pretty much like, if it's there, they'll eat it. Mm-hmm. You know? Mac and cheese and / or chicken nuggets, little girls go crazy. You're like the savages. Like they're just
they're tearing through it.
Yeah. But like lasagna for some reason.
Wow.
Not a big thing.
Man, I would eat up some lasagna.
I would totally eat up some lasagna. We were talking about lasagna in the last episode of the podcast, I think. But anyways, yeah. So no. It was just a lot, and it was one of those things where it was like you're just doing dishes for so long. And one of my coworkers was really funny. Shout out Jack. I've had 2 coworkers now named Jack. But he was really nice, and he made me feel included. But everyone else in the like the chef staff, like cooks and things like that, all spoke Spanish and didn't really talk to us that much in English or talk in English very much at all. And so it was just kind of like, it was me, Jack, and then this other guy that I can't remember his name. Let's call him George. Okay. And George was just a terrible employee. Which, like, to be fair, I wasn't a great employee. I, like, did everything mediocrely, and it was fine. You know, but I couldn't put the dishes away because they were too hot for my hands. So Jack was always putting the dishes away, and I was always scraping because that was the
other
job no one else really wanted to do. And our other coworker was useless, so we put him in between us, and he was just the stack it in the trays person. But yeah, no, the other thing about being in the kitchen was that we did the trash for the entire camp.
That's the gross job.
Yeah, so we split it with the girls' kitchen, but yeah, like it was so bad. And so George, I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it, how, like, why he was so bad at what he did. Which, like, oh, good George, I hope you're in a job that is working better for you now. George was not allowed to drive the pickup truck, which we've talked about. I am an anxious driver. I don't like driving.
Yes, she's not a great driver.
Yet again, we were asking Jack to do the job that, you know, and so then I was the one that was hauling the trash. Again, George was useless, right? So it was like one of those things where I was like opting to not do something that I either couldn't do or like was like very not good at. And just doing the grosser option.
Oh, so you had the scraping and the trash job.
Yeah.
And then Jack was like putting the dishes away and driving the
truck.
And then George was just there. That's so upsetting.
No, literally.
And you're all getting paid the same amount.
Well, and George wasn't allowed to drive the truck anymore because I don't know. Sorry, I got really close to the mic because I was leaning forward. He wasn't allowed to drive the truck anymore because I don't fully understand how this happened, but he ended up going onto like a curb, but it wasn't really a curb because we're in the mountains and it's a camp, so it was just a collection of like pointy rocks on the side of the road.
Yeah. And
he not only like punctured one of the tires, but stripped the rubber from the hubcap, which you wouldn't think would be possible, but he managed to do it. It was wild. It really was just like, and the days when Jack had off and it was just me and George. Wow. It is a wonder that those people just didn't eat on paper plates. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just...
How did those dishes get done?
I have no idea.
How did the trash get out?
I literally have no idea. I had to drive the truck. It was terrifying. Because this is it's like an old, you know, one of those trucks where you're like, you can't put the windows up. So you just don't.
Yeah.
You know? And like the brakes work. You know, like one of those, and you're like turning the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's old, and it holds things.
Yeah,
but doesn't really do anything besides that.
You wouldn't be able to take it on like the open road. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a very short distance car.
Yeah. Anyways,
so not the best first job experience either.
Not the best first job experience. And the wild thing is, I went back.
Yeah, you did.
I did. But the second time around, so much better.
Well, were you doing dishes the second time around?
I was.
Oh.
I was. But. So, second time around, it was the summer following our freshman year of college, which for us was COVID.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot different.
So instead of having 500 campers for a month at a time, we had 50 campers for a week at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that meant that we would all have the same days off, which meant that I was never stuck with whoever the other person was. And it was me and Jack in the kitchen, and then, like, what? 4 other cooks?
You don't have to have the number right.
But, like, we all had to talk to each other because there weren't enough of us. Yeah, to split off into groups. And everyone was so fun and so good at their jobs because it was just everyone that had been at previous camps and leader positions come together, right? And so it was just like the dream team. And, like, again, I was probably the least experienced, but I had been there before, so I wasn't scared out of my butthole to mess things up. And it was so fun too because, like, we weren't doing that much work.
Yeah.
Like,
and you were just
50 kids generate way less dishes.
And it's the same amount of staff.
And it's the same amount of staff and way less trash. So the trash was so much easier and it was just so nice. Oh, man.
That's a big one. And I got to see you more often.
That's true.
It was less commitment. You had different times off.
Yeah. No, it was super nice.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's why I don't remember you going 2 summers in a row.
It was an ideal summer to be at a summer camp again because COVID was happening, and otherwise, like, I would have just been alone. Yeah. But I was getting to live with other people. And I was getting, like, besides my parents.
Yeah. But
and so it was, like, super fun. And I was definitely, like, a lot less scared of a lot of things because I had been through my freshman year of college. And that's just how I'll say that.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hey, if it sucks the first time, try it again. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Or don't. You can let it be.
Yeah. But things generally work out. The reason I went back to it was because I had gotten a job at Otterbox in a warehouse, and I worked one shift. I hated it. And I went out for nachos with my parents and had, like, a new sauce and got food poisoning. And I called Otterbox and I was like, "Hi, I woke up in the middle of the night and threw up violently. I don't think I'm going to be able to come to work tomorrow." And they were like, "If you're throwing up, that's a COVID symptom. You won't be able to come for the next 10 days. And I was like, "I don't have COVID. I'm just, like, I just have food poisoning." And they were like, "Well, contact us in 10 days. And then 3 days later, camp was like, "Hey, you want to come wash dishes again?" And I was like, living in the mountains, not hunched over a bunch of tiny phone cases. Like,
way better.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Thanks.
Yeah, we really just give our young people, like, the worst jobs ever and the most labor-intensive jobs, and we have no experience really in anything.
Yeah.
Like, to say I had experience after I worked at an ice cream shop in anything else is like such a leap.
I've used like a till.
Great. Yeah. Good job. You've done these things. Could I do any other job? Not really.
No. The way that sometimes I say that I've had one job before what I had right now, which is just completely untrue. Like, I did wash dishes and I did scoop ice cream in a dining hall and, like, I worked at a Dollar Tree cashier. But, like, none of those are real jobs because they didn't give me anything to use.
Well, they just gave you money. They just gave you money.
Yeah.
Well, because my second job was working at a bakery, also in our small town, which was a much, much better experience. I worked there all of high school and still into college. Like, I worked over COVID, which was crazy to work in, like, the service industry while the world was on fire, essentially.
Yeah.
And you couldn't, like, really be around people, but also you had to be around people. And yeah, I think I was not qualified to do any of those things. Yeah. No one is qualified to work those entry-level positions, which now that I'm working more desk jobs, you know, and now that I'm doing things that are less like physically labor intensive, it's so underpaid.
Yeah.
We do so much more work as like young people.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. I also think like I went into my first jobs being like, I don't know anything, and that means I'm a bad employee. And there are so many people who have really high paying jobs that arguably don't know anything in the same regard.
Yes.
You know?
It's true.
And like that's just how it is. Like you learn what you need to learn when you're able to, and then you just do it as you go.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, I just thought that was going to be a little less applicable later on in life than it actually is.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. Even being like a student and doing stuff when you're getting your masters and things. Okay. Sarah just started like blinking at me aggressively and like also sporadically, and I was like, why am I saying something really weird?
No.
Good thing we don't have
like
the video
in Bachelor
format.
in Paradise when Olivia was like, she makes my eye twitch. It's like that, but I just have a fleck of. Anyways, what were you saying?
Just being underprepared for jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like as a student, sometimes when you're getting your master's, it's like, oh, you must be like really good at that thing you do because you're getting your master's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, I'm just like paying.
I just do it more often.
I'm just like paying to like do this now.
Yeah.
And like
That's so
we'll
funny.
have a certificate in it eventually, but
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in my field now that I have done this thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair for not just fields, but any positions that you're in.
No, I feel that.
Oh, you're so disheveled
I'm
right
so
now.
sorry. My glasses are pushed up. My hair is all around.
That piece of dust just took Sarah
It
out.
really is. It's getting to me. I might cry just to get it out of my eye.
Ugh.
I don't know.
But I want to talk about my second job because I have one more fun story
my
about
God,
working,
please.
and
I'm
you can
ready.
like figure out your eye situation while I do this.
Yeah, I'll be more quiet now.
Yeah, so at this bakery, I very quickly, I don't know, there's something about working at a place and then wanting to be like good at it that I have. And maybe some people are just like, yeah, I'm here to make money, I'm here to have a check. But I was like, I want to be good at my job, and I want to learn how to make all these sandwiches super fast, and I want to be really efficient grabbing all these pastries and slicing this bread. And so I was getting that bread.
Let's get this bread.
Let's get this bread.
That was
I
our
don't
senior
know.
class quote.
It was. And
Such a
everybody was
meme.
so sad. But like half of the people were so sad and half the people were so happy.
I thought it was really funny.
I thought it was really funny too.
Yeah.
But I was working in this bakery for, I think I worked there for like about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And during my second year there, I had started with them almost when they opened. They were open for a couple months before I started working there. But I had a great idea for a sandwich. Great idea. And it's really just like when you work at a place that has food, you kind of experiment with the food and you put whatever you want together because you're eating that food all the time because you're just there. But they had a sandwich competition, and I was like, I know what to do. I have this sandwich all the time, and it's amazing. And it comes on a bagel, croissant, or toast with garlic and chive cream cheese.
Yum.
Not onion and chive, garlic and chive.
Important.
It's different. We make it in house.
Some might say better.
I would say better. And tomato, bacon, and avocado. And if you're feeling frisky, you can add an egg. I just happen to not like eggs, so it was a great substitution for me. And it was delicious. And I didn't know what to name it, so I was like, and my coworker was like, just put your name on it, whatever. And so I submitted it. They made all of the sandwiches that were submitted, and had a taste test, just like the bosses, and mine won.
Woo!
And so I got a $50 gift card, which was ironic because I just worked there. So it was like, okay,
That's
what
so
am I
funny.
supposed to do with this? But I also got my sandwich on the menu, and it was called the Kiera
Amazing.
because
Amazing.
I didn't know what else to call it.
I love it.
And it still exists there today, and
Totally.
it's very fun.
I always look for your name when I go to that place.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oop, look, that's my friend. Actually, you know that sandwich? That's my friend.
I am a sandwich.
This is not a song, it's a sandwich. Okay. Anyways, I was playing Kiera's song earlier today. Actually, it wasn't a song, it was a sandwich. Look it up. It's by Psycho Sticks. I'm pretty sure is the name.
That's Sarah's favorite type of music.
No, Kiera just thinks that I listen to silly meme music all the time. I don't. Sometimes.
But sometimes. But yeah, and it's still there to this day. It's my claim to fame, and honestly, the only lasting legacy that I have in that town. You know, some people are really good at sports and have their name on like the wall of fame or whatever. Some people are like very good at academics, and then I don't know. Actually, there's no reward for being good at academics.
Yeah.
We were pretty good at academics.
Yeah.
But like,
If there was an
sports.
award, we could have gotten one.
Yeah. I definitely was not there for sports, but I do have a sandwich named after me, and
Heck
that
yeah.
is arguably better.
Arguably speaking, it's the best.
It's best.
It's the best. I love it. That's so cute. I don't think I've ever had a thing named after me. You know?
Yeah.
I just haven't. There are not many good opportunities for that.
It also is hard because your name is a bit more common than my name.
Yeah, Sarah. It would have to be like Sarah Van Hair.
Yeah.
Or Van Hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a full name situation.
Yeah.
Kiera is just,
Firsty Lasty.
it's common, but it's not super common.
Yeah.
It's not like your Emma's, not like your
Right.
Sarah's.
It's common enough that you
Maggie.
should kind of know how to spell it or have seen it spelled
Or you've heard the
before.
name for sure.
Yeah. But like you might not know no one.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got you. What else to share about work things?
How was working at Dollar Tree? Because I
Oh my
loved
God.
the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
It was a formative part of our friendship.
It really was.
We would go to the Dollar Tree and hang out and get 7-Eleven slushies
Yeah.
all the time.
It was so good. It was so fun. That was a really highlight of our friendship for me.
I know.
Yeah.
We
The
haven't
early
gotten a
days.
slushie in a long time.
I know.
We should do
Are there
that.
7-Eleven too?
Oh my gosh, we missed 11-7.
Aww.
Oh. And we missed 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
We missed both.
Yeah.
This is a
We
no-go
can get
here.
7-Eleven on the flip. We can get it in 2024.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
I don't know.
Only a
Sorry.
year or 9 months to wait.
Pretty far away, to be
It's
fair.
okay. It's okay.
No, working at the Dollar Tree was fine. It was the first time that I was working, like, with a lot of customers, I guess.
Yeah.
like-
High volume.
Like,
New customers all the time.
like, real people. Like, working in the dorm, I just got to kind of know everyone that came into the dining hall.
Yeah. They're repeat
Um,
customers for sure.
Right, exactly, yeah. And so it was interesting to be in that, like, sales, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Retail?
Retail, thank you. That was the one. Also, sorry if you can hear me pop my elbow on the audio.
She's getting old.
I am getting old, oh my goodness. But yeah, no, it was Christmas time. It was when my school, like, COVID calendar year, we went home at Thanksgiving and then we didn't come back until the end of January.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it was just like, we're not going to send people home and then have them come back with their, like, home germs and then, like, let them go home again and then come back again and stuff like that. So yeah, we didn't have any breaks. No spring break, no fall break, no whatever. And then, yeah, so we had, like, 3 months of November, December, January, where we were gone. And so I went back, I lived with my parents, and I got a job at the Dollar Tree because that was the only place that was hiring seasonally that I felt like I was able to do. And it was so busy because, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, everyone goes to the Dollar Tree to get, like stocking stuffers and wrapping materials because it's the cheapest.
The cheap stuff.
Right? Like,
and it's throwaway stuff, unfortunately.
Right, yeah.
But still.
A little wasteful. But, you know, if someone's gonna throw away the decorative box that you give them, might as well just have it be $1.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was nice in that I didn't have to do any restocking, and I literally just, like, scanned items, and that was back when the Dollar Tree was still $1. I know.
A good
the
time.
good old days.
The good old days.
Yeah. But we literally, like, we didn't sell anything that was more than $1, so if you mis-scanned something,
It didn't
skip
matter.
the next item. Like,
Yeah.
pretty lax.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was super fun because I could wear all of my Christmas earrings.
Ooh.
Which, if...
And matched your green shirt.
Always. Yeah. It was great. And I wore a bunch of different kinds of, like, turtlenecks underneath my green polo, too. And so I was really cute.
Who's that cute Dollar Tree girly?
Stylin'.
Who is she?
Yeah. No, it was, like, honestly, it was a good time. And I just, like, spent half of my paycheck on snacks for when I had my break and when I drove home from the Dollar Tree. But I don't know, I enjoyed it. I never had anyone that was difficult or, like, angry, really, which was nice. We were at, like, a fairly nice Dollar Tree. There's
good.
definitely, like, nice Dollar Trees and sketchy Dollar Trees, much like Targets.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's a big range.
But yeah, I don't know. I always had a pretty good time.
Yeah, I've never worked retail. I've always been interested in it, but it feels like there's more perks to, like, service industry because you're getting food usually.
Yeah.
Like, we would always get the edges of all the baked goods, and we get to take the baked goods home, and you have a shift meal and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that felt nice. And we get tips. You get tips.
That's true. Some retail you get discounts.
Yeah, would you get a discount off the Dollar
I did not get a discount at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, and, like, also with retail, a lot of it is just, like, restocking things, which I don't know about you, but that's just not, like, very fulfilling.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to do a lot of restocking because we were really busy all the time. So I just, like, whenever it was like we should just have one cashier and everyone else did restocking, I was like, oh my gosh, I'll totally be the cashier.
I guess
Don't
it's
even worry
me.
about it.
It's me.
I've got it. But yeah, so I don't know. I got really good at tax in that area though.
Ooh,
I knew
you can
exactly,
always calculate the tax.
I was like, how much was our meal overall? $15? Well, that should be, you know, $16.73 or something like that. I don't actually know. But,
like
you know,
that.
because I was used to, like, oh, what's 15 items at the Dollar Tree
Times
cost?
this.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a good time.
And now we just kind of work boring real jobs.
Yeah.
Like, not real jobs, but kind of.
Yeah.
I would say.
I'm like a step away from a real job.
I work a real job, but I don't work it all the time. I'm also still working 2 jobs.
Yeah. Kiera's a twofer. She's just out here doing the most. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Speaking of jobs, my name is Sarah Van Hare. If you would like to receive my resume, I have a lot of experience, which is outside of the Dollar Tree and washing dishes, I promise. I will be looking for a job.
Good young professional.
I am. I'm a great young professional.
I could be her reference.
Yeah, well, I can give you better references. My bosses love me. Much like parents love me, my bosses love me. I'm just a really likable person. Anyway.
I would say that too, but I'm not her reference, so I won't say that.
That's so funny. Silly.
But I think Sarah would be really good at making a graph of, like, how hard a job is versus how much money you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like it is. You work really hard when you're young and get paid very little.
Yeah.
And then you get older and start working less hard jobs.
Yeah.
Again, this is general. This is a blanket statement, not applicable to all jobs.
Right.
And you get paid more money, or at least one would hope.
It's almost like there's 2 lines, and it's like the age is on the bottom, and the amount that you're working is on the, I'll draft up a graph.
Yeah, you'll
I'm
get
here
this
for it.
graph.
I'm here
It'll
for
be
it.
around somewhere.
And then effort would be like the lines, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder at what age we can have that intersection.
At what age do we have the perfect balance of being paid for the work that we're doing?
Honestly, though, maybe I just want to not do that much work but get a lot of money. I think it gets boring, though.
No,
I think if you're just sitting, not doing much,
I
and
had
getting
not
paid.
a lot of things to do today, and it was a less good day at work for me, like, genuinely. You know?
Yeah. I think that's how it goes when you are not, like, stimulated by stuff.
Right.
If it's not a fun day, then the day just drags on and on and on.
It was a long day. But yeah, I don't know. Now our job is making this content for you guys.
Because we're getting paid a lot of money
We
for
are.
this.
Sign up for our Patreon. Just kidding. We don't have a Patreon yet, but the first thing that you could do for us is to give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. If we ever do try and set up that monetization, I do think that those 5-star ratings help get us,
like
they help
an
getting
extra
us
penny or
like
two?
up to like and out to more people, I think.
Sure.
And so yeah, definitely give us those little starry stars and drop us a follow on our Instagram. You can see that picture of Kiera and I playing pinball, very possibly a video of Kiera playing pinball.
Really? Oh,
I think I have
a
one.
picture.
Yeah, so check that out.
Exciting stuff.
We will be dropping episodes every Wednesday. Weekly on Wednesdays. And the next time you hear from us, it's going to be the day before Thanksgiving if you celebrate. We are still planning on getting an episode out, but just in case we don't, here is your little note that, holidays happen, and sometimes we'll work around them and with them.
And sometimes we won't. Sometimes you just may not get an episode because it's a holiday.
Right, exactly.
And you'll have to wait a little bit longer. But you know what? Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Oh,
and we know you'll miss us.
We do. We're basically long-distance friendshipping through this podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to our group.
Big hearts.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, thank you so much for listening. And
We'll see you next time on Arguably Speaking.
Bye.